get down to the nitty gritty here. You're a Capricorn, and we were talking about your chart, and that you never really felt like a Capricorn. So I'm going to tell you why that's true.
Okay.
If you were a regular, unmitigated Capricorn, you would be, my way or the highway, very arrogant, very good at what you do, very good at detail and organization, but pretty much an asshole. Yeah. Capricorns can be so arrogant that they put people off, and and they're Capricorns typically don't want to fill in the blanks. So if you're in a conversation with an unmitigated Capricorn, and you say something, and normally a person would respond to that. They don't. They just leave all the silences.
That's funny.
I know. Well, you can tell that. You can tell they're either an Aquarius or a Capricorn if that happens. Okay. So with you, one of your biggest mitigators is your Venus. Your Venus is conjunct your sun, which makes you more Taurus-like, which makes you more involved with harmony. You don't want to make waves. You want to keep everything harmonious, right?
Yeah.
It also makes you very creative. Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and Venus is all about, and I'm a Taurus, so I know this, we're about making harmony, making nice. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But we want to keep everything, like me, I'm like the old bull out in the pasture, I'm just sitting out there chewing my cud, and I want everything to stay cool, No. Typically Capricorn doesn't do that. They'll shake up what they need to achieve their ends. Okay. So you have this lovely Venus conjunct your sun. It also makes you handsome, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Capricorns are not typically good looking. They're not.
That's hilarious.
Look at Capricorn. It's ruled by Saturn. Hello? Capricorns typically are not good looking, but you have two mitigators to that. You have Venus conjunct your sun, and then your rising sign is Libra. And so your chart is ruled by the ruler of Libra, which is Venus. Your chart is ruled by Venus, which is keep everything calm and make nice, love each other. Okay. And then this Venus energy is also so creative. I know you're involved in music, right?
Yep.
Okay. You're in a band or something?
Yeah.
Okay. That's part of why you're so creative. Capricorns aren't typically musical. You have to have the music genes to be able to really get in and be involved in music. And that's in anything that you do. Okay. And you have two interesting things about yours. You have Mars in Pisces in your 5th house of creativity, and Pisces is all about the music, and you've got Mars in it. So you're very aggressive about your music and your creativity, right? Now, other than music and your radio stuff, what else do you do artistically?
Good question. I used to paint like watercolor. I used to draw a lot. Kind of cut down way back on all that stuff
as we get older.
I guess, I don't know. And then as far as as creativity, I used to do a lot of like comedy stuff with friends. We used to make, this is before the radio station, we used to make tapes, like, hang out to like do like a late night talk show and stuff, and do different characters and stuff. And been doing that for a long time. It kind of still continues, and I wish I want to do more of that, because that's what I really love to do. And I love to play with my kid and just make up stuff. And that's what I used to do with my brother. We used to like make up a whole different world with these stuffed animals and stuff. And just like, living in like make-believe land is where I live.
Yeah, well, that's Pisces energy, honey. Pisces is the sign that, and the house of Pisces, which is the 12th house, that's rules the arts, music, painting, all of that stuff.
Hmm.
And Venus in Libra, or Libra rising with Venus ruling your chart, Libra is all about refined artistic ability, which is why you can draw and paint and do all of that stuff. That, but where the comedy comes in is you have your sun, your Capricorn sun, in the third house of Gemini. Now, that gives you a much quicker mind than a Capricorn. You have a lot of Gemini tendencies. So, what you're involved in is communications, right? You're
Right.
communicating. And so, the sun in the third, one of the challenges about the sun in the third is that the third house is considered a weak house. So they call it an accidental debility. And what that means is that it sometimes takes a lot more energy for you to move forward and do what you want. Have you recognized that sometimes you kind of feel a little weak, maybe a little powerless, that you don't have the impetus to do the things that you want to do?
Oh yeah, it's been my yeah, motivation, or I'll dive into something and then kind of like
Well,
stop.
I'm gonna tell you, there's more to it than that. Okay.
Yeah.
There are other mitigations, but it doesn't surprise me at all that you're involved in communications. You're also a good writer. And whether it's comedy, Gemini is is awfully um, comedic. Okay.
Mm,
So the Gemini energy makes you funny. Okay.
that's funny.
And so,
That's funny. That's funny.
yeah. And that you could write comedy or
Huh.
create comedy. Yeah.
Okay.
But like I say, you have the good writing ability with your sun and Venus in the third house. And so do you do any writing?
I used to, and like the whole thing with song stuff is everything is very spontaneous with me, and I used to think that was just the way of being, and that I'm trying to get more like, all right, you need to write stuff down. Like my bandmates keep telling me, you got to write these songs down. You have to write this stuff down, and I never do, and I never like, I don't know. Um, I don't know. Every time I think of something, it doesn't quite work out, or I don't know what to say.
Well, just remember this, the palest ink is better than the best memory. And you definitely should keep an idea journal, even if in your back pocket you carry a little notebook and a pencil. I mean, you need to create the system that works for you so that
Hmm.
you're writing this stuff down because you're highly intelligent. You have the ability, the mental stuff to do it. You just,
Right.
and because of your sun being in the third house, it's harder for you to get motivated to be successful. And then there's another mitigator, and that's that your moon is in Virgo. And in the 11th house, which means if we're just looking about moon in the 11th, it's like you like to hang out with your friends, you like to be doing stuff,
Yeah.
you're really into that, good friends and hanging out.
Oh
But
yeah.
the challenging part of it, honey, is that Virgo is the perfectionist. And Virgo sees the flaws in everything. And when you try and move forward, the flaws will stick out to you in your mind and you'll think, oh, it's not good enough. Nobody's going to like me. So I'm just not going to go there, you know?
Mm,
And that's when you have to tell that Virgo to shut the fuck up.
right.
I'm serious. I am serious. Virgo, it's great with technique, wonderful with your music technique, but it's terrible in terms of seeing perceived flaws and prohibiting yourself from moving forward, creating fear. It's not going to be good enough. I won't be liked and all of that stuff. And it can be the biggest inhibitor to moving forward. So when those thoughts start coming into your head that you're not good enough, you really have to say, get the hell out of here. I'm not listening to that, because you are very, very talented. And it serves you well with technique, but not with forward motion.
Right.
Now let's talk more about Libra. Libra is the nicest sign in the zodiac, bar none. And the reason why is they're people pleasers. You want people happy, you want to please them, and you do what I call the Libra dance. And by the way, Libra is about body movement too, but should I, shouldn't I? Is it right? Is it fair? Will they like me? Will I please them? Back and forth, because you see all sides of everything.
Yeah.
You see everything, okay? And it's, what should I do? You can't make up your mind. My husband calls that the curse of intelligence.
It's true.
You see everything and you don't know the direction to take. And that's Libra. In fact, Libra people take longer to make decisions than anybody else because of that. You see both sides. So knowing that, it really, you can define it in your mind as, I'm in a procrastination phase.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do. And so oftentimes, again, writing the things down, looking at them on paper, you can see pros and cons. Okay. But if they're just in your head, one thing drives out another. And so you don't get the thing done.
Right.
And so in order for you to ground, which you need to do, the things that you create with your creative mind, you have to let go of the Virgo shit and pleasing other people always. You have difficult times in relationships, right? And there are two reasons for that. And we'll talk about the Libra reason first.
Okay. Libra
comes here to learn to do relationship well. Okay. But the deficit with Libra is the pleasing factor and not being able to set boundaries. So when you go into a relationship, you just give everything. You just want to please, you give everything. And then what happens over a period of time, if you don't get back what you give, resentment builds up and the relationship ends. Does that sound familiar?
I don't know.
What happened with your last, are you in a relationship now?
Not right now, no.
No, I didn't think so. I want you to think back with your other relationships and what caused the problem. You don't need to do this now. You need to identify what you have learned about yourself with every breakup, not about the partner at all. What did you learn about yourself? That's what relationships are for. Relationships are the trenches of life. That's where we learn the most about ourselves.
Right.
And so that's a real study for you. And when you do get into a relationship again, I want you to set your boundaries right up front. What are your needs? That don't have anything to do with the other person. What are your needs? Every day, what do you need to stay balanced? Because Libra is all about balance. What do you need every day to stay balanced? And then you need, instead of saying, oh, well, I'll sacrifice that for the relationship, you need to say to the partner, okay, these are my needs. This is what I have to have every day to stay balanced. It has nothing to do with you. These are my needs. And that needs to be the number one thing you do in the next relationship. Because you lose yourself.
Yeah.
You just totally lose yourself.
I think it's kind of true with not just female relationships, but just relationships in general. Like I was just quick to drop everything and
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know, go off with my friends and not have my own shit together
Yep.
just to go off and hang out.
Hang out and have fun. Right.
Yeah, it was just quick to drop everything.
Mhm. And that's what Libra does, to be with the friends. It's very social, very social.
Yeah.
Now, the other mitigator for you for relationships is in your seventh house of partnership, you have Saturn, which is delay, which is stress on relationships, and not actually being able to have that life partner relationship that you desire until later in life. Okay.
So
Takes
wait, what does that mean?
It means that you won't find the perfect partner until you've learned enough about yourself that the partner that comes in will be your life partner.
Oh, okay.
So it's a journey for you of learning about yourself and what you need to do. And when you're ready and you've learned enough, you're awake enough about your own thinking and your own personality, then you will attract the person that's right for you.
Mm,
Okay. So anytime you get into a relationship, the number one thing that should come into your mind is, okay, what do I need for balance so I don't lose myself? And number two, what am I learning about myself now? Got it?
yeah.
Really important for your ultimate success and happiness that you do that, not only in partnership, but also in intimate partnership, work related and intimate. Um, well, I was going to say something else about that and it left me, but it'll come back. So the Libra and the Saturn always is, wherever it appears, it says, dot the I's, cross the T's, and do the work. Then you'll get your reward. you know?
Right.
And so Saturn is there in your seventh house of partnership. So you got to do the work on yourself before, and as you do, your frequency raises. Okay. As you come to this awareness about yourself, and then you will attract the person that's comfortable in that frequency. People don't realize it really is all about frequency. When you're stressed and negative and down on yourself or whatever, if you attract someone, it's going to be in that lower frequency,
Right.
and you're open, you're learning. And so as you open yourself up more spiritually and raise your frequency, guess what? You're going to attract somebody on that higher level. Got it?
Okay.
So now the duality issues are these. You have a lot of things that are very fluid, like Libra is very fluid. It's air, and so it's moving all over. But then you also have the Saturn energy, the Capricorn energy, which is very halting. Okay. So you've got fluidity versus halting energy. It's not fluid. Capricorn energy is not fluid. You
Mm,
have, you have, because of your Pisces and your Scorpio, which we'll talk about in a minute, you have this non-judgmental side of you. Okay.
mm-hmm.
That's very loving and very sweet. And then you have the Capricorn, which is judgmental. Okay. So it's like you've got a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other. But this is good for you to have this class. This is a class for you, because then you're going to start understanding which energy is speaking to you at any given time. If it's the kind, compassionate, or if it's the more rigid Capricorn, you go, oh, okay, I don't want that. Get off my shoulder, you devil.
Right.
And, the water energy that you have is very compassionate. Capricorn is very critical. Okay. You have the passive energy that we talked about. Pisces has more passiveness about it. And the other side of you is very aggressive.
Contradiction. Yes.
Yes, it's duality. And honey, we all have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all have it. And then you have the harmony part of it, where you want that harmony and you have that art and all that stuff. But then you have Scorpio energy that is crisis. So you have this duality of harmony, crisis, harmony, crisis. Can you relate to that?
Hmm. Yeah.
Think about your life. You know, I'm throwing things out that you've probably never even thought of. It's going to take
Yeah.
time and listening to this more than once, because you'll hear, every time you listen to it, you'll hear stuff you didn't hear the first time.
Okay.
And so the other thing, and then we're going to get to the Scorpio, is your water energy is very connected to the other realms. Okay. Pisces, in fact, probably a lot of the music and a lot of the stuff you bring in, you might just be channeling it with your Pisces Scorpio energy. But Capricorn is blocked spiritually, it blocks it.
Hmm.
So again, duality. You have the spirituality, and then no, can't go there. So these dualities that you have, you need to be thinking about which energy is speaking to you at any given time, and then choose which energy you're going to go with. And if, say, Virgo's there saying, oh, you're not good enough, you say, fuck off, I'm great. I'm perfect. I'm going to go with my Libra energy. I'm really good. I'm going to go with my Venus Taurus energy. I'm great. I'm intelligent. I'm creative, you know, and don't listen to that other stuff. It's just not productive. Okay.
Right.
Now let's talk about Scorpio. You have Jupiter in Scorpio in your first house of self. It's all about you on an inner level. Now, Jupiter itself is awesome. It's my favorite energy. It's very friendly and very open, and you're that way. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Very friendly, very open. It makes you very deeply connected. But it's also, because it's in Scorpio, what's going on with you is pretty deep. And that's what this crisis thing is about. Scorpio is the sign that's most deeply connected to source, okay? It's like a well of deep, deep water that doesn't move. A lot of people don't like to look down into their scary monsters.
Right.
But Scorpio energy comes on the planet to evolve through crisis, okay? Now, on some level, you're probably a pretty good crisis manager. You know, people will come to you, talk to you.
Yeah,
What
that's
about,
true. Yeah.
I'm screwed up? You know, I don't know what's going on. And you're the sounding board, and you can help them make some sense of it. Okay. But the other thing is in your personal life. Now, I think it's probably tied into relationships, it's tied into sexuality. You know, all of those things tie into Scorpio and the crisis part of it. Now, what Scorpio does, the way it evolves, is everything's going great for a while, fine. And then your soul says, okay, time to evolve, time to evolve. And so everything kind of crashes and burns, and you evolve to a higher rung on the evolutionary ladder through the ashes of the crisis.
Mm.
And then you might go 3 or 4 or 5 years. And then the soul will say, okay, time to evolve, time to evolve. Everything crashes and burns, and you emerge through the ashes to an even higher rung on the evolutionary ladder. So that's the cycle. You have 2 cycles that are powerful in your chart. One is that the crisis cycle, and then the Libra cycle, which is not being balanced and having a harder time setting your boundaries and understanding yourself, and then giving everything, and then falls apart. And I think the Libra and the Scorpio are very tied together, because I think probably most of your crisis has been through relationship. Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Partnership. See, these are
Yeah.
questions you probably never thought about, but
Yeah.
think about them. Think about these patterns, and how they have played out in your life, okay, up to now, because you really can choose which way you're going to take them and how you're going to respond to them. You are more deeply connected to spirit than what you actually realize. because the Capricorn blocks it. So push those blockages away and you really open yourself up to spiritual stuff, and stick with your Pisces, your Mars in Pisces, and your Scorpio energy. You can take the spiritual stuff as far as you want to take it. It's there. But just remember, if you start doubting it or like judging it, that's the Capricorn. No, go. I don't want to judge it. I want to experience it. You want to experience it. And so that's the big thing with your Scorpio. Scorpio is powerful. Scorpio is the most deeply connected, and within its parameters, okay, they have the deepest, darkest mafia, murder, sex, drugs, all of that stuff, to the highest light and love there is. So you have this great parameter of how you're going to express that Scorpio energy. You know, probably as a child, except because you were Capricorn, most children who have that prominent Scorpio will start out with an attraction to the dark side, sex, drugs, rock and roll, you know, that kind of stuff when they're little. And then the older they get, the further they move over, thinking, okay, this isn't working. I'm going to try.
Right. This isn't working.
No, this isn't working. No. And so you keep making those experiments until you get to the highest position of pure, unconditional light and love.
Huh.
That's your path. Interesting, isn't it? And the other thing, the other beautiful part about it, as you move over further to the light, you're doing it through helping people. Yours is a path of helping, being of value to other people, as long as you can keep your inner bucket full. Okay. What happens, like we've talked about, you sacrifice yourself and you don't keep your own bucket full. How you do that is what they call loving yourself. What is it that you need every day to keep that bucket full? That's what you need to be thinking about. And then you only give away the overflow. Okay. You don't give away to where your bucket's half empty or on empty, because then you're no good to anybody. So keep that bucket full, doing what you need to do every day, whether it's music, you know, art, being out. You're probably, have you danced in your life?
Yeah, I used to love to dance. Well, I still love to dance. But you know, because of COVID, I haven't really been dancing much, but I do love to dance.
Yeah. Well, that's the Libra. Now, my daughter, who is a Libra, she has a wonderful, she downloaded many years ago this system called the Groove Method, and she teaches it all over the world. And it's on Facebook. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Look up Body Groove.
Body Groove.
Body Groove. And what it is a way of allowing your body to move the way it wants to move and not being follow the leader. And giving yourself to be permission to look stupid. That it's okay, because everybody's looking stupid and they're not paying attention to you, they're paying attention to themselves.
Right.
But I think because you're a Libra, you would probably really enjoy this. And I mean,
it's kind of how I dance anyway. I kind of dance stupidly.
You will like that. You will like this. So look her up. Her name is Misty Tripoli. And she does the Groove Method, and her other website, she has mistytripoli.com, and her other website is theworldgroovemovement.com.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah. The other thing about Libra people is self-expression. You need to be able to express yourself in how you wear, what you wear, how you look, if you want to be funky, whatever. There are two signs that stand out when you see people: Libras and Leos. Now, Leos do it for attention. They dress fancy and wear big jewelry and all of that stuff because they want attention. Not with Libra. Libra likes to dress and be the way they are because of self-expression.
Mm.
Now, if you look at my daughter Misty, who is a Libra, she's had dreadlocks for years and she dresses so funky and she doesn't care. It gives her power to be who she is. And you have come here to deal with issues of personal power.
Hmm.
You feel that?
No. What do you mean by that?
Well, you have Pluto and Virgo in the 12th house. Now, what that tells me is you came into this life with issues of power. In a past life, you screwed somebody with power or you were screwed by power. But
Mm.
this life is about you to come to grips with your personal power. Okay? And so being yourself, doing the things that you love, keeping your balance, you're owning your personal power. You're not giving it away to anybody else.
Mm.
And in relationships and even with your bandmates or whatever, you give your power away, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've come to this life to work on your power. Now you were given, this is so funny. I just laugh at how it all sets up for people. You were born with your son in a position of weakness because it was the third house. And you've got these power issues in the 12th house. So what's happening is you've been given this issue of learning to move forward with your power and not sit back and feeling powerless, but to grab your power and move forward with it. And so you came in with a weaker son so that you could explore power.
Hmm.
You know, you've had issues with power. Now it's time for you to explore it and go, ooh, I need to take back my power. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it really is. So you have a very powerful chart. You're highly intelligent. One of the things that you lack, and I'm similar to it, is that you have no fire in your chart at all.
No fire.
No fire. And I have Pluto in Leo. That's my only fire in my chart. And people that don't have a lot of fire don't market easily. We don't push ourselves out there. Now, Leo people, fire people and Aries and Leo and Sagittarius, they don't care what other people think. They don't hold back. They just go, here I am, world, love me. This is me.
Right.
But people like us, we kind of sit back. We don't have that lack of inhibition. Fire has no inhibitions at all. I've always had a lot of inhibitions. You probably have too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so you want to start acting like fire, or you be with people like maybe your next partner has a little more fire and can help you move forward with fire energy. Okay.
Right.
And oftentimes when we don't have it, then the person that we get with has what we need and we have what they need, so we're helping each other because nobody has a perfect complement of anything.
Right.
If that were the case, we wouldn't be in school, right? On this earth, if we didn't have these challenges. We have to laugh at ourselves. The other thing too is don't take yourself so seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It's not life or death. We're just in school. You want to see what works best for you, what allows you to develop your talents and bless the lives of other people and yourself with your many talents. Now, you're not only good with music, and of course, Venus rules the throat, by the way, for singing. Do you sing or do you just play?
Yeah, I sing. I started off singing and rapping, yelling, whatever. And it kind of morphed into other things. And that's kind of where I feel the best because, it just feels like that's where I'm not expressing myself very well right now, but that's where I feel like I'm most expressive or most,
Yeah.
You know, a friend of mine was telling me that I have perfect pitch or whatever, and I never thought about it, but he was like listening to some of the stuff that we did, and he's like, "Wow, you just came in at the right time, the right, note, and if you thought about it, you'd get it wrong because that's how it is with music. If you start
Hmm.
thinking about shit,
Overthink it. Yeah.
you're gonna get it wrong, and it's gonna be all forced and everything, and when you don't think about it and you're just in it, it comes out, and so I have heard that before, and that's kind of how I started, really, and then just gradually started picking up instruments and playing. But I haven't really. Uh, I have so far to go with the instruments that I do play, like as far as learning, certain things. Um, and I do get down on myself because I play with some people that are a lot better than me, and
You don't feel good enough.
yeah, I don't feel good enough, but at the same time, I've done that for a while, for years, and I've been like, you know what? Why would so and so play with me if they didn't enjoy playing with me? So like, you could say, yeah, you don't know what these guys know, but why would they bother playing with me if there wasn't a reason to? So it's kind of like you can psych yourself out, but then you could be like, well, why do we come together then? If I was, and a friend of mine told me that straight out. He's like, I wouldn't be playing with you guys if I didn't, feel that this isn't worth it.
Yeah.
But people just everybody has and I've struggled with my confidence and
Yes.
self-esteem and all that stuff, and when it comes to stuff where learning music is really hard, and the people who do it well, it's just amazing
It
what
is
they can
amazing.
do. And so it puts you at a level where you're like, you don't think you'll ever be good enough. And but the funny thing is that the people that are supposedly on the top of that, don't think they're good enough either.
No. No.
So so it's kind of hilarious.
It is, honey. The whole point is just to put yourself out there with who you are and to feel confident and good about it, knowing that you were
Right.
given all these talents for a reason. I started singing with my sisters when I was 11 years old. We sung in quartets. We won quartet festivals. I sang for many, many years as a Taurus and being Venus ruled like you are. I don't do it anymore because I don't have the energy for it after
Right.
raising all those kids. But it was some of the most enjoyable times of my life was the music. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and recently, so like everything's been very private for me, like secret almost. Like I had a little thing that I did with my brother, and we're like, yeah, let's not tell the parents, or he said that. And so I didn't tell anybody about it. And then as far as the current people that I play with, only this year is the first time we've ever played out in front of people.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I've
And
been
they
playing for,
probably loved you.
well, yes and no, but it was like it was a coming out party, I guess you could say. It's like, I mean, we just played yesterday, and this is the third time that we've ever played out. I played at a couple parties years ago, but that was as far as it ever went because it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
stage fright, or don't want to put yourself out there or whatever. And then a friend of mine was like, in the band, he said this, he's like, this is COVID time, and who knows what's going to happen, and the fact that this guy is willing to let us play there is amazing,
Yeah.
and we should just grab it. And everybody's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Even
and
though
that
we don't feel ready and we don't feel rehearsed and we don't
doesn't
feel that
matter.
we're good enough and whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right now, everybody's starting and going to be learning to do things in a completely different way. You're ready. You have been experimenting with all this stuff for so many years. You are so ready to move beyond. Do you feel that? Can you
I
feel?
do.
I'm
I
getting
do.
chills when I say this to you. Honey, stop holding yourself back. Just go forward. You've got it all. You know, Taurus energy, Venus energy comes in with lower self esteem. because our journey is to learn what we value about ourselves. Look at all of the gifts that you have, you
Hmm.
know, value them. They're so good. I mean, I can just sense it, you know. You've been doing this, you've got the Pisces energy, you've got the Taurus energy, you know, Venus energy. Just go out there, do it, doesn't matter. Misty helps with this so much in what she does with her classes, with her people. It's like, stop hating yourself. Just go do and be
Hmm.
what you came here to do. What you came here to do was to have joy and happiness. And I think the music gives you a lot of happiness, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It gives you more, really probably more than anything you do. It's the music and the singing.
Well, I don't know. I would say the comedy and
Well,
playing.
comedy too, yeah. But in other words, putting yourself out there so
Yeah,
other people can experience your gifts. Just do it. What have you got to lose?
I know, right? It's true. It's
What
true.
other people think of you is none of your business.
I've kind of shed a lot of that. I mean,
Good.
just coming out and doing music and this whole COVID thing.
Mhm.
My own brother's like, we haven't really spoken, and just a lot of mask wearing idiots out there, and that has just further been like, oh, okay, that's how it's going to be, and it's really been a very um, telling telling experience because you're like, oh, that's how you feel. Oh, okay, you're just gonna swallow up all this stuff, and so it's you
Right.
know like people think of me as a conspiracy theorist anyway, so it's like whatever.
Yeah,
You could think whatever you want.
I
Doesn't
know.
matter to me, and you can be caught in your own little box of beliefs and whatever. And I'm starting to pop out of that, even though it's hard because you just like, oh,
Yeah, we're
I
so
want to,
worried about what other people think. But you know
yeah,
what? Really, what's happening is so um, pervasive for the world. It's not just us here. It's the whole world. We've never experienced something like this where the whole world was involved. And it is frankly up to all of us to do what we can so that the globalists don't take power anymore. You know, what's going on with the Democratic Party is
yeah.
just vomitous. It's just
Oh my
vomitous.
God.
And then Trump, I mean, okay, I've read and all about the Q, and I, back when I was in politics, I was given the book None Dare Call It Conspiracy. I learned about that in the 70s, what the New World Order
Right.
was all about and what the plans were. And we see them all now, taking uh, right in front of our faces. And but
Yeah.
Trump has done some really stupid things. I mean, I would really like to believe that he is going to make these arrests, that he is going to do what he's going to do. But in the meantime, he's cutting regulation for the EPA. He's doing stupid things with water regulations, all of this stuff. And I think, okay, if you do this, but at what cost to our planet? So
Yeah.
I want to see proof. I hear lots of stuff. Show me the proof. Arrest Hillary. Fucking arrest Hillary. Arrest Obama.
They're
Fucking
friends. Come on.
do it. Do it. Do something.
I just heard
Go ahead.
I heard recently that that years ago when Kamala Harris, or however you pronounce her name, was running for Attorney General in California, Donald Trump contributed to her campaign.
Yeah.
Like he knew that she was a rising star and was going to help her out and all this stuff. And it's just like it makes a mockery of this so-called two-party system. Like there is no two-party system.
And look
It's
at
like,
Melania and Trump, Donald being with Epstein.
oh yeah, they all run in the same
How
circles. It's
far
just
did
like
that go? Did Trump fly on the plane
I'm sure he did.
and fuck an underage girl? I mean,
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know. And so the way I look at it right now, and I have to look at it astrologically, it's not going to be till about 2025 before we start getting any semblance of good back for the people. And I think there's worse to come. I think this fall, and it may be before the election, I don't know, but something's going to happen and we need to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
So make sure you have the food, the water, cash, make sure you have everything you need in case, the infrastructure fails. Because I think
Right.
it's a possibility.
Yeah. Truly.
I don't know, but put yourself out there musically, honey, and comedy, and just do it all. Especially right now, what have we got to lose? Just be what brings you joy. That's the
Right.
best thing. Yeah. And spend time with your son. How old is he?
Oh, daughter.
Daughter. How old is she?
I have two. One is 21 and the other one is 9.
Oh, the 9-year-old is probably fun, isn't she?
Oh yeah, she's great.
At age.
Well, they're both fun, but a different,
Different fun.
different
Mhm.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
no, she's great, and she loves it when I play with her. She can't get enough. Like I'll do whatever, and she's all into it.
yeah.
Like makeup games and stuff, and all that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of energy for me to do it, and then she's the type of person that never wants to stop.
Yeah.
Never.
But it'll pay off, honey, long term. That'll really pay off.
So
The
yeah.
time you spend. And it's not so much the quantity, it's the quality of when she is with you that's so important. And I'm going to be doing some things on parenting too. After having 7 children, I have a good idea. And but I was at my daughter's house a few years back, and they had one of those kind of children who just loved attention and wanted, to just was so excited for daddy to get home. I got to tell daddy.
Right.
And he came in and started talking to my daughter. And then Sierra was her name. She came to her daddy. She says, Daddy, I want to tell you something, Dad. And he looked at her and he said, this just blew my mind. He said, would you please stay 300 feet away from me?
What?
It was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Ouch.
All you would have had to do is pull her in for 30 seconds and
Mm-hmm.
say, what do you want to tell me? I'm excited to hear it. Tell me,
Yeah,
listen
yeah,
to her for 30 seconds or a minute and say, okay, we'll spend more time with it later, and then let it go.
yeah.
But no, he said, stay 300 feet away from me.
Wow.
It's like, oh, don't you know what you're doing to those children? Anyway, so pull them in the time that you have, pull them in, pull her in, and listen to everything she has to say. What you may want to do that can really help you in the future is just have me look at her chart, and I'll tell you exactly why she is who she is.
So
They say children don't come with an owner's manual. Oh, yes, they do.
right.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I looked up on your website. She's born February 16th.
Ah, okay. So
So that,
she's a Capricorn. No, Aquarius.
yeah, she's Aquarius. So I looked
Mhm.
it up and looked at her chart, and I don't know, it was sounded somewhat like her and somewhat not.
What is her sun sign?
Her sun sign? What do you mean?
When was her birthday?
Oh, February 16th?
16th. So she's Aquarius. Okay. February 16th. That's all you know. You don't know her moon or her rising.
I don't know that, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it'd be interesting to see how it impacts your chart and stuff too. But at some point, you may want to do that, especially if in the future, as she becomes a teenager, things start to unravel. You might want to know why. And they do unravel, trust me. Trust me. But little girls need their daddies. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the best thing you can do is to spend that quality time with her. She's
Yeah.
probably very bright,
Oh yeah, she's very bright. She's very,
hungry for information and love and everything.
yeah, loves to play, very funny. I mean, sometimes she cracks me up and she doesn't even know what she's saying. It's like, I'm like, oh my God, that was so funny. And then of course she tries to do it again. I was like, it's not as funny the second
The
time.
second time when they force it. You
Yeah.
know, my youngest was like that, and when she was about that age, we were visiting my older daughter in California, and my older daughter is very Scorpio, and there's always crisis drama, and my daughter Elizabeth sat on the steps and she said, Stacy blames me for everything. She'd blame me for the decipit if she could. I thought, where did you even get the word deficit and decipit? I've
Right.
laughed about that for years. Oh,
That's so funny.
it is. Well, they're wonderful. And approval, honey, is the issue. We all seek the approval of our parents, right?
Yeah.
No matter how horrible they are, it's just built into us. We seek their approval. So there are techniques that you can use to give approval rather than put things in the realm of competition.
Mm.
By saying, oh, you're really good at that. Well, in her mind, she sees so-and-so over there who did it, and theirs is much better than hers. So I can't believe what you tell me.
Right.
No. And so the way to talk to children is, I love that. Wow, tell me about that. Or I love this about you. I like that about you. I think you just look so pretty in that dress. I love how you look in that dress. I love what you've chosen. And that's all in approval. It's I love, I like. And that's the way you deal with it, so that they know they want their approval. They know that you approve of them. And so they can go out and do anything, but they know the parents will approve of them. And it's huge.
Right.
You got to take it out of the realm of competition, even with yourself.
Hmm.
You love yourself. Okay. Take it out of the realm of competition. You're not competing with anybody. You're just being you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But we're raised to compete, right? Everything's competition. Got to be better. These little kids, all they need is approval, honey. So I love, I like. I'm going to send you that formula. It's out of my book.
Okay.
I'm going to send you that formula. Read it, and it gives you ideas about how to say things to children so they know that you approve of them. Okay.
Sounds great.
All right. Now let's move on. We know. Did you have any accidents when you were young that you are aware of?
Yeah, I remember a bike accident where I chipped my tooth. It was just a dental accident, but
Well, you have your Uranus in the 12th house, which typically means some types of accidents or things that happen in your childhood that goes into your subconscious and that may affect your life later on in some way. So some people that I ask about that say, oh yeah, I had this horrific thing. Other people can't remember. So
yeah, that's all I can think of.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just something to think about. Now, I'm looking at the transits right now. And interesting for you, you have been through in the last year and a half or two, you've had Saturn conjunct your sun. That's a tough deal. It's one of the hardest astrological aspects that there are, Saturn conjunct your sun. You probably felt like you were losing your mind some, didn't you?
Past few years.
Yeah. About a year and
Yes.
a half ago. I know when I went through it, I would sit there on the couch and just go, I am losing my fucking mind. And I would just look around. Nothing was working right with my brain. And that's what happens when Saturn is conjunct your sun, is that it works directly on your thought processes, your thinking. It's like on your head. So, think back. But typically what happens when you go through a strong Saturn transit, you change relationships, you move, and you change what you do for a living. Did any of that
Okay.
change for you in the last couple of years?
Well, let's see. I went through some tough financial issues, and then I finally got the job that I currently have. That's actually today's the anniversary of me starting this job. I think it
Mm.
was 2 or 3 years ago. God,
Yep.
time goes by so quick.
Yeah,
I
time has gone by really fast.
maybe it was 2 years ago. God, I
Mhm.
can't even remember.
Yep.
Um,
Well, you
but
went through,
but yeah, I went through a period where
things were tough.
searching for things were tough monetarily, and I was
Mhm.
just hanging on.
Yep. And what happens during those periods of time, this like Saturn conjunct the sun, your Saturn returns, Saturn in the first house, Saturn crossing the ascendant. What happens with all of that is we take a look at our lives, or Saturn does, or we do from a soul perspective, what's viable and what isn't. What isn't viable will shift, will
Mm,
go away, and then the more viable things will come in. But it's only out of pain that we make these choices and discomfort, because we're human. If everything's Pollyanna, we don't do a friggin' thing, you know.
right.
So on purpose, things are made challenging for us so we make better choices moving forward, so the next 30 years of our lives will be in a better place.
Mm,
It repots you. And so that's what happened with you. And right now, you've got Saturn conjunct your Mercury, which is how you think and how you communicate. So if you can't get the words out, that's why.
ah, okay.
And so Saturn is moving now into your fourth house of home, which can mean a move. Are you planning on making another move?
Um, I have thought about it on and off for a couple of years. Um, it's really hard to find housing in my town,
Mhm.
and but um, yeah, once in a while I have thought about it.
Yeah, the energy's there for
Mm.
this next year and a half, if you choose it. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I would like to move. I mean, my rent is cheap enough, but I really don't like the neighborhood I'm in, and um, it's really very cold in the wintertime and kind of the opposite in the summertime.
So you want
Um,
something that's more supportive of what
yeah,
you, yeah.
yeah, definitely. But I have thought about it, and uh,
It's there. Well, just thank God for bringing you or showing you the perfect new place to live at the perfect time. Thank you, God,
right.
for showing it to me. And reaffirm that every day. Thank you, God, for showing me the perfect new place to live at the perfect time. Now, I have a gratitude formula that I give all my clients, and it's threefold. The first is when you get up in the morning, just take a couple minutes and express gratitude to God, your concept of God, it doesn't matter. Express gratitude for the tangible things you have that you love. I mean, you have a good
Mm-hmm.
job, you make money, you have your music stuff, you have, healthy children, whatever. The second phase of gratitude, though, is where you set the miracles in motion. Okay. And that's where you thank God for what you want as though you already had it. Okay.
Right.
So that's why that statement, thank you, God, for opening the way or for showing me the perfect new place to move at the perfect time. That supports me on a spiritual level, on a physical level. I don't believe that we have to sacrifice those things. We just turn it over and express gratitude when it comes. Okay. So I'm going to send you that gratitude formula, and I want you to do the homework on the second phase and develop your gratitude statements. They can be around love. They can be like so many women that I work with. It's thank you, God, for showing me my perfect life companion at the perfect time. And then you let it go.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's what you're interested in, the perfect companion, develop something in that regard, develop something for money. If that's what you want, develop something for a new place to live. And then every day you just quietly say, thank you, God, for bringing me the perfect thing at the perfect time. See?
Mm-hmm.
And it's an act of faith. You really believe it when you say it. Thank you, God, for doing this for me. I know that that's going to happen for me. And it's miraculous, the things that come as a result of that. When my kids were little, I used the third phase of gratitude a lot, especially with my youngest. She was very difficult, and she would want to use the car, and I wouldn't feel good about it. And I'll say, well, let me think about it. And then I'd say, okay, God, okay. Thank you for handling this with her in the perfect way so I don't have to be the bad guy.
Mm.
And I would just sit back and it would all unfold. I didn't have to do anything. So it works. Work the formula and it will work for you.
Okay.
Lots of times too, you'll get in thought loops and you can't get out. You can't figure out what to do. And of course, with your Gemini energy, you're in your head a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so just turn it over. Thank you, God, for handling this for me at the perfect time in the perfect way. And then forget it. And every day just say, thank you, God, for that, and watch it unfold in front of you. These things really work. There are some things in the Bible that are really true, which is cast your burden upon me.
Right.
You see? And that's part of this. It's a law. It's actually a law. You know, when they say the Lord says this, it's the law says this. Be afraid of the Lord. No, no, no. Be afraid of the law, not the Lord. So if you substitute law in there, there are certain laws of the universe that just work.
Right.
And this gratitude formula are some of those. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Now you've got Neptune in Pisces. It's just coming out of your sixth or your fifth house. And now it's moving into your sixth house of your day-to-day activity. Neptune in Pisces, music, spirituality. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So it's very strong. It's what we call dignified. And so that's moving into your sixth house. When it's there, though, that just tells me you're going to be working on a lot of music every day. But when it's there in your sixth house, it's also your house of health, which means that your body is probably going to be a little more sensitive to environmental toxins, allergies. Just watch out for that. You know, stay away from them as much as possible. Eat clean as much as you can, you know, like organic. You know, our food system is so destroyed with Monsanto and toxins and Roundup. You just really need to be really careful what you put in your body. Now, you've also been kind of like a pressure cooker. You've had Uranus conjunct your natal Saturn. And when Uranus is like that, it's like until things are resolved, you feel like you're in a pressure cooker, like, when is this going to end? I think we're all experiencing that a lot, but you have it astrologically, where some people it's just by circumstance of being alive right now. But you have had it. What have you felt about that? Have you felt kind of like that, like something's got to give?
Pressure cooker. I don't know. I can't think of anything. I guess, well, maybe with musically, as far as coming up with my own songs, because we're starting to play out and everybody's, you know, well, not everybody, but people have their songs and I don't really have anything. I just kind of go off the cuff, play along otherwise. There's that, maybe a little bit of pressure there. I mean, I don't know, the IRS wants money from me. I don't know. Maybe just the pressure of, you know, the world as well. Just like what's going on. It just feels like a lot of.
I think it's a feeling like, when are things going to resolve?
Yeah, when are things going to resolve in that sense? When are, I don't know. I mean, I don't have really a lot of things going on in my life, and yet I do. It's kind of like.
Yeah, no, I get it. And sometimes we ignore how we feel.
Yeah.
You know, and we just do what we've got. We just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and we're ignoring maybe what the issues, emotional issues that might be building up. We just push all that.
Right. Or I just don't even know how to feel. Like
Right.
I just,
And
I
I
don't even,
sense that with you. You really just don't know how.
yeah, I don't know how to feel. I feel like if I really let my emotions out, it's gonna be, it's not gonna be good. So it's like, how do you really feel?
Yeah.
Do you really want to know, how I really feel?
Mhm.
And then I don't even know if that's even true,
Yeah.
if that's
And
exactly how I really feel.
in this world right now, it can change from day to day.
Yeah.
But I think as we evolve, we need to be very clear about our emotions, come to grips with them, and then move beyond them. Emotions can be a debilitating part of decision making.
Yeah.
If we make decisions from our gut, that's the male power center, this right here by your belly button. That's the male power center. If we make decisions on that space and what our gut tells us to do, they're usually a little more, um, they're a little better. Our decisions are better. If we base our decisions on heart, then you put that emotion in it, and sometimes it skews the choices we make because of the emotion.
Right.
Men have it a little easier than women. Women are more emotional than men, and
Right.
so decisions tend to be based more on that. But you have a lot of feelings. You have just, through the course of your life, you just don't think about them. You think of other people, you're thinking of this, you're thinking of that, and you really have put your emotions aside.
Mm-hmm.
And but when you get into this relationship that will come, you want to approach your life and your relationship in a whole different way than you ever have before. Okay? Setting boundaries and limits, and expressing your feelings, showing a vulnerable side, because I know you have it. I see it. You have a vulnerable side, but men are taught to that it's not manly
Mm.
to have those
Right.
emotions or to cry. But I will tell you this, your greatest place of power is your ability to express your emotions. That's what women want.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel. And the guy goes, huh? What? Huh? Feel? I don't feel
What's
nothing.
that? What's that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, I married you, didn't I? That
Yeah.
ought to be
Right.
enough, you know?
True.
So when this new person comes for you that will be your life companion, you're going to approach it from a whole different way if you want it to work, if you want it to last. That's what Libra needs to do, is to learn how to do it right. And the first thing you do is do what's right for you. Then the other will come.
Right.
Got it?
Okay.
Okay. So those are the big heavy hitters in terms of transits right now. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at the solar returns. Now, the solar return is where the sun comes back to the exact position it was in every year when you were born.
Mm.
And that the snapshot of that tells me what's going on. And this is huge for you, honey. In your fifth house of creativity, you have Mercury, Jupiter, the sun, Saturn, and Pluto. And that tells me that what's going on with your creativity is where your power is right now.
Mm.
Okay? Just all about creativity. It's what the fifth house is. It's creativity in children. But in
Okay.
order to have children, we have to create them, don't we? So in your sixth house of your day-to-day activity, you have the moon and you have Venus. Now, Venus there, again, creative. You're coming up with really good ideas on a day-to-day basis, and you write those down. I'm like the cattle prodder, okay? I'm giving you the zap. Write down your ideas. They're good. They're valuable. Don't
Okay.
let them just leave. Um, I just read this book by Elizabeth Gilbert that's awesome. Just absolutely awesome. It's called Big Magic. And she talks about creativity in a way that I have never experienced before. It is an awesome, awesome work. It's something we all need to hear. Now, Elizabeth Gilbert, do you know who she is?
No, I don't know her.
The one that wrote the book Eat, Pray, Love.
Oh, okay.
And this book is raw, it's powerful, and it helps you understand why things come in and then things go out. Okay. But I would get that book and read that book. It's marvelous about creativity. Never read anything as good.
Okay.
Um, so you're coming up with ideas. You're having some anxiety when the moon is there. Now, two things this can mean. The moon, when it appears in a particular sign, particular house, it refers to having some anxiety about issues in that particular house. So I sense either you're having some anxiety about health on some level, or you're having to do with, is your mother still living?
No, she's gone.
Okay. Maybe with an ex-spouse. Do you have much interaction with any of the other women that have been?
Yeah, my ex and I, we get along.
Okay. And that just could be her. When's her birthday?
June 18th.
So she's a Gemini. Huh?
Is that Gemini?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does she talk a lot?
Uh, she can, yeah.
Yeah. Got a quick mind?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's Gemini. Um, Very social. She likes to be social, right? So you might be having more interaction. Venus could also be a person is coming in before the end of the year. This is as of your birthday in 2019. So it just shows you being involved with women, being involved with creativity, okay? And possibly some anxiety. I don't know whether that will.
Yeah, it's funny that most of my friends are women now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, who cares?
I know. It's just
Who
funny.
cares? I know. And in partnership, you want to be careful if something does come in that you don't sacrifice for the partner. Now, you've got Neptune and Pisces in the seventh house of partnership, but that could be a music partnership, in which case then it just refers to music and not sacrifice. So if
Right.
you're going in with other people, then that would be music, right?
Okay.
Um, do you ever do any travel? Of course, right now, probably not.
Um, I yeah, I did like to travel. I mean, I still do. Obviously, it's a little different right now, but uh, before COVID, I went to Seattle to see my cousins who I hadn't seen in years with my daughter, and my brother was there too. And before that, we went to Panama.
Mm.
So, because I finally had some money and I could do something before I couldn't even go anywhere.
Hmm.
And it's just like, God.
You're
So,
feeling much more free.
yeah. Um,
Well, this just shows that, and we have to recognize that the chart for the world, what's going on in the world, and natural disasters and this stupid pandemic thing, um, that it supersedes the chart of the individual. So if your chart says unexpected travel, which it does, your solar return, uh,
really? Mm.
yeah, hmm it may not happen because of what's going on in the world.
Oh, right.
Now, as of your birthday, this coming on the 29th of this says that it's in the exact position the sun is when you were born is at 29 degrees, or the 29th of December, that's when it's exact. Um, this again shows some Venus activity. So there may be somebody coming in. You have Venus in the first house. So Venus means our creativity and our love relationships. So it could mean you're doing some writing, which I think you should do. Write songs, write
Yeah.
write whatever the hell you want, but you should be writing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like money's going to be fine. You've got the sun and Mercury in the second house of money and values. That's very good. Now, in your third house, which is the house of writing, you have Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, which means, for hell's sake, write. When you get those energies together, it's like you better take a warlike energy or attitude toward this. Get it done. Stop procrastinating it. Just do it. Okay. Now, one of the things about Capricorn likes everything to be usable, practical, you know. No, don't waste your time doing that. Nobody's going to buy it. What are you wasting your time doing that for? You know, you got to throw that out. You know, you just do it to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody goes through cycles of, well, this didn't work, so we'll try something else. So,
Yeah.
so, you know, I'm working
Right.
oil painting of Jesus I've been working on for 6 years, and I can't get the friggin' left eye right. It's driving me nuts. And so I ended up, you know, just blotting most of it out, and I got to start all over again. I'm thinking, oh, if I can't get that eye right, I just got to throw it away. But, you know, the point is you just keep working on it and you're learning as you go. Doesn't matter. Okay. So write, work on your music, write songs, whatever it is. I'm zapping you here, honey.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then in your sixth house of your day to day, in next year after your birthday, you've got Uranus in the sixth and Mars in the sixth. And the sixth house is your day to day activity. And so you're aggressively doing a bunch of stuff. You've got Mars in Aries. Aries is all kinds of stuff. And you're working on something till you get bored with it. And you work on something else till you get bored with it. But you're working on different things. Okay. And then you've got Uranus there, which means your schedules are just like this. There's no set schedule. Whatever that means, I don't know. Now, in your eighth house, which is the house of Scorpio, you have the moon there in Gemini. Now, two things happen with the moon in the eighth. Number one, you're much more psychic. So really pay attention to the thoughts that are coming in, the spiritual thoughts, the information that's coming in. And it also means you hide your feelings.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. 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 But I don't want you to do that anymore. You know, you stuff so much of that makes you sick. Get it out. Get it out. Write a song about it. Write a poem about it.
Right.
But get it out in some way, even if it's not expressing something directly to someone. And even all of this conspiracy stuff, you know, people are struggling to express it. It's kind of like we know what's happening, but at the same time, we don't want to delve in the density, the 3D density of it, the anger, the frustration, the hatred, you know, all of that stuff, because it just produces more of it.
Yeah.
We want to stay above that fray. We want to stay in joy and gratitude and love, and start focusing on all of the new ways of being, all of the new ways of making money, you know, because things are never going to go back to the way they are. This is going to be total adjustments, especially these next couple of years. And I thought that Landria did a really good thing where she said, you know, she said this year was the year of expansion, but next year is the year of critical choice. I think that's really interesting. I think we're coming down to that critical choice.
Yeah, I've watched quite a few of her videos. I signed up for her fear class.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Well, I will tell you, Capricorn carries around fear and judgment like a third arm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And then when you go through, like you did Saturn conjunct your sun, it just magnifies the fear. But once
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm telling you right now where it comes from. It comes from Capricorn and Saturn. That's why you say, shut the fuck up. I don't want to listen to you anymore. You listen to your Venus, you know, the creative side of you, and just don't entertain the other energies at all. Now, this one is as of your birthday next year. So it will be basically be for all of 2022. You've got, again, the moon in the 8th, which is more psychic ability. Really want you to hone in on that. And again, hiding your feelings, you got to work on that. Have moon in the 8th.
Right.
In the 10th house of career, you have Mars in Sagittarius. So that's really good. Good stuff. You're working on it. You're doing lots of things differently. Then in your 12th house, you have a ton of stuff. Now, the 12th house is the house of Pisces and Neptune. It rules all of the creative arts, you know, all the music, dance, everything. You've got the Sun, Venus, Mercury, Pluto, and Saturn all in your 12th house in 2022, basically. So that's all your creativity, all your music. You're really getting into it. You're going to do it. You're not
Nice.
procrastinating anymore. It's like warlike energy to get the talents developed and get them out there. Okay. And so, I mean, you've got your marching papers. And you also have in your first house of self, you have Jupiter, which is good luck. It's like having the guardian angel, and Neptune in Pisces, creativity. Your whole mind is going to be on creativity and not worry about what people think or anything else. You just do it. Okay.
Okay.
And money will be up and down, which is going to be normal for that period of time. But we manifest money through synchronicity and through the gratitude statement. Thank you, God, for opening the way for me to have all the money I need and want. Thank you for supplying that. And then, honey, it just appears.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get into fear about money. Just thank God for it. Hey,
So I
God,
should pay. So I should pay my taxes.
how much do you owe?
Almost $2,000.
Okay, you can do what we did. Get a hold of them and just pay them $100 a month. Sales paid.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to do that 3 or 4 times in the past 5 or 6 years, and just set up a payment plan with them, and you just pay it every month, and
Okay.
stop worrying about it. Coming up with that kind of money right now, especially with things kind of like we're not sure what's going to happen. Keep on, hang on to the money, just $100 a month.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's going to be the situation for 2022. Did I do the next one? I did. Your birthday in 2022. So basically for 2023. You've got a business partner or something coming in. You've got male energy in the 7th house of partnership, and it's in Capricorn, so it's business. So there's somebody coming in that's going to be working with you. And then in the 8th house, you have Pluto, Venus, Mercury, all in the 8th house. And that can typically mean sharing resources with someone, that things may end up shifting on the planet and we need to share more resources than we're used to. Okay. So be thinking about that. I don't know how that's all going to play out. And then you've got Saturn in the 9th house of Sagittarius and travel. And it may be that you end up doing some more traveling, maybe for work, what you're doing for work. So Saturn in the 9th is travel. And in the 10th house of career, you have Neptune and Pisces. Hello, music, the arts. Right now, you're in a preparatory phase. Just start pumping it out. but then it's really going to come out. That's going to be your career, you know, is your music and your singing. It's awesome. Then in your 11th house of group activity and friends, you have the moon conjunct Jupiter. Now, the moon, of course, means women that you're working with, and conjunct Jupiter means everything is expanding. Everything's wonderful. I mean, for your creativity, all right, your group activity and what you guys are doing together with your music. So it's going to be really good. And then in the 12th house, you have Mars in Gemini and also Uranus in Taurus. So you are writing. Gemini is the writer. You're writing, and things may come about like surprises that you don't yet see. Okay. The 12th house is like water, like the ocean. You can't see down there very far, right? But Uranus makes everything just out of the blue comes, and you could have some really cool surprises coming, things that you don't see now. But definitely you're working on your music and writing songs and all of that stuff. So that's it through 2023. That's it. That's a lot, honey.
Yeah, that is a lot.
It is a lot. And as you, I've given you a lot to digest and to think about. And so you need to listen to it when you can, listen to it in a week and then maybe a month. And then you'll start connecting, really connecting with the information and paying more attention about what's going on in your head. And then identifying it. Where is this coming from? Well, it's coming from Virgo. You're not good enough. It's Virgo, you know. Capricorn.
Right.
Oh, way too much fear. Nah, can't go there. Judging everything. That's all Capricorn and Virgo use. Get out of here. You want to get with the Libra energy, the Venus energy, and the Pisces energy, which is creation.
Right.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to send you a link to the recording. I'm going to send you a copy of your chart. It's computer generated. I do holistic, and that's more the computer stuff, but there's still good stuff in there. And I'm going to send you my gratitude formula. I want you to do the homework on the second phase. Now, I'm also going to send you links to my favorite group. It's called El Divo.
Yeah.
Heard of El Divo?
Yeah, and your last
Did you play it?
Yeah, I did play one of the El Divo. I think it was
Was that I Believe in You?
no, I think it was Amazing Grace, maybe.
Oh,
I don't remember what it was.
that's a good one. Well, the two I'll send you. One is Love Changes Everything, which is such a phenomenal song. The words are marvelous. And the second one is Passera, and that means this shall pass. And these guys are exceptional from the perspective of the love energy that they produce. They really like each other. Yeah, they've had their bouts and stuff. They've been together for going on 17 years.
Okay.
Okay. And at the end of Passera, they come together and, you know, they got their arms on each other, and you can just feel the love that they have for each other. And that's what we need in the world right now.
Okay.
And that's why I gravitate to their music. I listen to it every morning because it is so love-based. And I've been a fan of theirs for like 12 years or so. And I thought, well, you know, they've toured with Barbara Streisand. They'll never come to Podunk, Albuquerque. Well, a year and a half ago, I'm driving down the freeway and there's the billboard, El Divo's coming. I was like, oh my God. And so I came home. We bought the tickets, 6 rows up. $275. I would have paid $500, and we went to this fabulous concert that was just booked, and it was so great to be around people that love them like I do.
Right.
And what was interesting was what happened at the end of the concert. That room was so filled with high frequency love energy that it was just incredible, and everybody started hugging each other. People you didn't even know. We were all hugging each other. The energy was just love and high frequency.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. Just totally awesome. These guys are, one lady said they're like angels who've come to share love with the world. And I believe that. They've sold over 40 million albums. You know, they're just They sing in 5 languages. Can you believe that? I can't even believe that.
Wow. That's amazing.
Urs is from Switzerland. Sebastian's from France. Carlos is from Spain, and
Right.
David is from the United States. And what's his name? Simon Cowell found them. He created American Idol, and he decided he wanted to find the best singers around the world and bring them together to compete with what used to be the 3 tenors, you know, Pavarotti and all those, and they've all died out.
Right.
So it took him 3 years to find these guys. And David, the one in the United States, was the last one he found. And it's just been since then. It's just sky high. But anyway, and you might get inspired even. I know I do. You know, I'm Venus ruled too. When I listen to them, I get inspired.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, you know, it lifts your frequency, so you get better ideas because your frequency's up here, you know?
Right.
And so you might even get ideas from them for music. I wish that they had been around when I was in my 30s and not when I'm, you know, 60 and 70. When I don't have any more energy to even sing. I start to sing now. I mean, I took voice and everything. I took voice for 2 years. And now I have no lung power whatsoever. I just croak.
Oh,
But I love it. I love the music, you know.
yeah.
And when you get some stuff together, send it to me. Let me hear it.
Okay.
I'm interested. Absolutely. My husband writes music. In fact, he created a CD. He writes it on the computer. He's really gifted that way too. He's a Pisces. And music is his whole life. He loves drumming. He plays the flutes. He does, you know, the guitar. He used to be in a band when he was a teenager. So, you know, I want to hear what you do.
Okay.
Absolutely. Very interested. And I'll get all that stuff to you. Probably won't be till tomorrow. Okay.
Wow. Thank you so much. Oh my
You're
God.
welcome. Happy to do it.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Get moving, honey.
All right. Definitely. Thank you for the kick in the butt.
Okay, honey. Talk soon.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye.